cryptocurrency and pirate.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of that we can see that that you can change your name, no list of nothing. And I go, yeah, well, issued ID kind of crap. Can you have what you call yourself, but this person got on?
Knows who you are and where you're authorized to be, and if you're not in the
reputation, and it's going to have a or however you do it, or notebook paper or
more if they were willing to break the law to preserve. It was forbidden from discussing medical expenses, but only seduces them into begging. Alliance has constructed a medical hegemony that denies science, discredits alternative remedies, and mandates unwanted treatments, while callously ignoring the victims dying on injections and medical ambitions required not only body without qualification. Open oceans become as accessible as barbers. Customers determine their own medical care, whether that's experimental treatments, prohibited plants, controversial procedures, bootleg pharmaceuticals, or even the right to die. Any system of command and control is rejected. In time, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, genetic engineering, and cybernetic prosthetics could take the human condition beyond our imagination. Medical augmentation could eliminate aging, enhance intelligence, and erase our fundamental physical limitations. With the crown in our wake and the individual at the helm, we are free to pursue an unfettered life. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
This is a special.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods. Relations between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our cover.
Again, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberty.
Take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
LRN.FM, toot.lrn.
To Ernest Hancock.
You know what's wrong? Did a board up I used to have. Yeah, the rest of the summer and so on is we are building up to the Vaccine Education Summit in September. That's going to be also we got to extend, change, shorten time for the summer, and we got enough. Assigned. Even legislators are going to go. But this is the one thing that I've learned working with legislators. They always want to show up for something, whether they're for or against it, it doesn't matter. They just say that they were there, and if somebody complains they were there, well, I was there to school them, or what, they just say whatever. But they want to get up, and they want to grab the microphone, and they want to, get a picture of them saying in front of a crowd of something about something. And I'm going, nope. They want to talk. They got to go up and stand behind the Vaccine Education Summit logo that you did that goes on the podium. And I go, you want to talk? You get up there and you get your picture taken. You were saying, I know exactly how this works going in the election cycle. And I told the other organizers, I go, no, that's my deal. Oh, we got legislators, so I'm going, big freaking deal. We are not there for them. They want to impress me. They can actually pass some legislation to the other one, and they can suck it. So I want it. They want it. They get their picture taken next to Vaccine Education Summit logo. Other than that, I don't listen to a damn thing they say. So this is, I'm just from experience over the years, and we're ready to start hitting Arizona, because if we were going to start bypassing the controls on the internet and the shadow banning of everything and so on, which hasn't affected us as much because we weren't so dependent on it, but we have people that they were making, $8,000-$10,000 a month down to almost nothing. Just boom, those knew how to turn the switch off, and they did. So now we're like, all right, I'll show you how the old school of building up. If we had these tools in the 90s, we'd be getting us some database. So it's a campaign, and we need to do all this pirate stuff and get caught up on a bunch of stuff and everything. But for 2020, what shall we do? It's not that I give a crap about voting or whatever, but that's when people are paying attention. And when the markets go crazy, which they already are, I mean, it's getting all kinds of stupid. When that happens, that's when people really start paying attention. So I'm thinking this election cycle, we're going to get a lot of goodie out of it. What do you use election cycles, Davi? Is that you always do some creative vote for Cthulhu or something?
I don't vote, right? So there's no real reason for me to pay attention to the elections, which means I have this whole season to do something else. And I try to come up with something. For 2020, I mean, hindsight 2020 seems like the natural slogan, right? And so my idea is let's run a time traveler. Let's run someone who's come here from the future to tell us that this is the election the most important election in human history, and he would know.
Of course it is.
And he's not here to debate because he already knows the answers. The answers are vote for him, and he knows the policies that are kind of keep us from, colliding into a black hole or something. And he doesn't have to debate the merits because he's already seen the outcome of both. So
hindsight 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, what would his
America
name be?
needs a time traveler. I originally named this person. Hindsight was the name of the candidate, but there's other. It's sort of like the Nobody campaign, right? Like we gotta have a time travel primary first. So is it like a Doctor Who time traveler? Is it a Star Trek time traveler? Is it like a Rick and Morty time traveler?
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I guess that would be Doc and Marty. Is it a Terminator? Like what kind of future are we up against? Is it a Terminator time traveler?
I don't know. Let me just think about it a second.
Like, what if Sarah Connor came from the future and she says, "We've got to stop the Terminator hordes. Vote for me." What do you do?
I don't know. What kind of argument are you going to have? No, that wouldn't happen. Don't tell me it didn't happen. I was there. It happened. Like the Romulan from the first remake of Star Trek.
Yeah.
He goes, well, that hasn't even happened yet. Don't tell me it didn't happen. I was there. I saw it happen. The Federation did. I'm going to kick your butt. So don't tell me it didn't happen. I remember when computers really first started going. When was this? This is like the mid-90s or something. There was all these chat rooms. Do you remember the time traveler guy?
The guy who claimed he was a real time traveler and he had real messages from the future? There's a bunch of those types of characters, but I know of a few, yeah.
Well, I mean, there was one primary. It was an awesome theme.
He ran in a primary? Like he ran as a candidate?
No, he just had a big online. It was one of the first viral kind of. It was like a QAnon thing or something.
Okay.
What happened is he came from the future. That in the future there was. They didn't have the technology to recreate some of our older technology. And there was some database or machine or, Save the Planet if they could get an old IBM chip of blah, 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 blah. So he came back and just stayed for a little while to get this piece of hardware to take back with them. Mm-hmm. They just couldn't get access to place. It was like Y2K, kind of software crap or something. But anyway, so he came back in time. And he would not break character. I'm here looking for. I did this. I'm good. And I think he stopped in Florida and did something. It was a thing for a year or two. It was just and the stuff that he was talking about. It was saying because you're from the future, there was really nothing you could do to challenge you. I'm not here to argue with him. I'm just telling you what. But this. He goes, look, man.
Yeah, like your opponent brings up, what about all of these statistics? And you're like, I'm not here to talk about the past.
Right. Hey, man.
I'm here to talk about the future.
Because his thing was kind of like Connor as a soldier.
Yeah.
He came to get this. That was his mission.
Yeah.
And while I'm here, because the kind of point he was making, there was nothing that he could do that was going to change anything anyway. That's just how time worked in his reality.
Yeah.
So he's like, of course, when I go back, there's going to be in the history book that I did whatever. It doesn't matter. I got my thing, and you didn't believe me anyway. So what's the difference? You know?
Corinne had a really cool idea in this front. Are you familiar with Doctor Who? Are you up on the series?
The old one,
okay.
I used to watch when I was a kid a little bit and everything, or younger. But now all the other no.
Yeah. So Doctor Who or the Doctor has an arch enemy called the Master, right? And he's like the last of the Galgafringians or whatever, Gallifreyans. But he's the one who his whole thing is war and dominance. Like the Doctor's is always healing and nurturing like a species. The Master's whole thing is always war and dominance. But he's just like the Doctor. He changes forms every few years, right? And so there's an episode of Doctor Who where the Master meets a character named Missy, and it turns out that they're the same person. It's just his next form is female, and so he is confronted by his own future self. And so Corinne's idea, well, you just got to run Master and Missy as a Republican and a Democrat. Pick your time traveler, but they're both the same time traveler.
That is awesome. See, that's mental gymnastics that just, freaking, this is why they keep making movies on Marvel Comics, because they don't got any original ideas.
Yeah.
All right.
But so vote for Master.
Wow. Okay. Wait. All right. Hindsight times 2 2020 or something.
Yeah.
So you'd have a president and the vice president. It could be the same person. It's just, well, I'm here today because, the president, he's in another thing. It's the same guy.
It's the same guy.
But, you're running as the president or the vice president, but it's the same guy.
Yeah, exactly.
From different times.
Right.
And one time he might be a little bit older or something. It's more gray when he's the older, when he's the president guy.
Well, he actually changes forms. Like, the Master is the villain for like a whole season.
No, I understand, but so you're saying that you would have two people.
Yeah.
That would be different, a man and woman, but they're the same person.
It would be a man and a woman, but they're just the same character from different timelines in different bodies.
So like a symbiont kind of thing,
right,
from Star Trek.
It would be just like if current Doctor Who met old Doctor Who. Like, that would be possible.
I understand.
Yeah.
But it's a different character because he changed. It's like Jadzia, we become this new person, and that was a Star Trek character. Deep Space Nine, that's what that was. So I'm going, yeah. Man, only in Davi's world, man. Again, because hindsight 2020. So that'd be the campaign.
Yeah.
All right.
Vote for the future.
Vote the future. Yeah.
Make the past present again.
Ooh.
Make the future past again.
Make something.
I don't know.
The audience can help. We're going to start moderating the pirate forum, for lack of a better word, be able to clear the spam and got stuff to do, because we got work for pirates now. In the next hour, we're going to tell you, all right, we're starting to get ready. We're going to have work for you. Here it comes.
Don't worry about things you can't control. Isn't that what they always say? But it's about impossible to avoid worrying about what's going on these days. The government has used the war on guns, the war on drugs, and the war on terrorism to tear our Bill of Rights to shreds. But you can fight back. The 10th Amendment Center has proven it, racking up major victories. For example, when the U.S. government claimed authority in the NDAA to have the military kidnap and detain Americans without trial, the nullifiers got a law passed in California, declaring the state's refusal to ever participate in any such thing. Their latest project is offnow.org, nullifying the National Security Agency. They've already gotten model legislation introduced in California, Arizona, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Kansas, meant to limit the power of the NSA to spy on Americans in those states. We'd be fools to wait around for the U.S. Congress or courts to roll back Big Brother. Our best chance is nullification and interposition on the state level. Go to offnow.org, print out that model legislation, and get to work nullifying the NSA. The hero Edward Snowden has risked everything to give us this chance. Let's take it. offnow.org.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to MyMagicMud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. MyMagicMud.com, FTL20.
Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock continues after the news, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,502. Silver at $17.13. And Bitcoin is trading around $10,075. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, in a move that's being held as a step toward ending prohibitionist policies and Mexico's bloody war on drugs, a judge in Mexico City has ruled that two people are allowed to legally use cocaine on the basis of the Mind Unleashed reports. The groundbreaking ruling by a district court in the capital city grants the pair anti-crime crusading group Mexico United Against. The two must limit their intake to 500 milligrams or in the presence of others, and they're disallowed from encouraging others to consume the drug. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The hashtag #PrayForAmazonia went viral on Tuesday as social media users attempted to draw the world's attention to the Amazon rainforest, which has been devastated for weeks by fires so intense they can be seen from space. The Mind Unleashed reports that it's unclear whether the fires were caused by agricultural activity or deforestation. Both have accelerated rapidly under Brazilian President Bolsonaro, who made opening the Amazon to corporate exploitation a key plank of his election campaign. Twitter users on Tuesday slammed the media for paying too little attention to the Amazon blazes, especially given the essential role the rainforest plays in absorbing planet-warming carbon dioxide, a capacity that earned it the nickname Lungs of the World. Satellite data collected by the Brazilian government's National Space Research Institute, published in June, showed that deforestation has risen dramatically under Bolsonaro, who dismissed the research as a lie and fired INPE Director Ricardo Galvão for defending the data. After the disloyal to Trump hashtag went viral overnight in response to President Donald Trump accusing any person of Jewish faith who voted Democratic of being disloyal to the United States, the president on Wednesday sparked fresh concerns about his mental health after he tweeted quotes from one of his right-wing supporters who said Trump was like, quote, the King of Israel, and compared Trump to, quote, the second coming of God, end quote. Thanking radio host and self-described warrior conservative Wayne Allen Root for his very nice words, the president tweeted, quote, thank you to Wayne Allen Root for the very nice words. That said, President Trump is the greatest president for Jews and for Israel in the history of the world, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience The Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news.
This is the Onion Week in Review. Sources are learned from an online web video, and even shittier to hear from a cold-hardened newsman that there are many local shelters with animals in need of a good home. In this week's op-ed pages, Pantene CEO Marcus Russo laments feeling like the only one who gives a shit about rich, lustrous hair. In other news, a study finds that newborn infants can tell if their parents are losers. A man who just assembled a desk is unsure how he has every screw left over. And Jeff Beck is lured into a dark alley with the old guitar pick on a string trick. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember. I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Unafeared. We got the future is looking, whatever. But are we afraid? Do we care? Is there something that we can do to bypass all that? Well, there's a lot of news out. What's a big thing, Dob, you think we got to worry about? In the coming years, you've been around long enough, and the cycles and the revolution that keeps going around. What do you think America got to worry about?
Well, civility is completely dead. I don't think we'll ever have a normal presidential candidate again because we've sort of thrown open the floodgates on any kind of clown that wants to run for office, and the American people have obviously decided they're going to tolerate that. So, yeah, that's like a big old dose of chaos into a really dangerous machine.
It's from. Now we're sitting there eating bagels. It's from these kinds of upheavals that you get change. I've been through this before, and well, what are you going to do next? Wait for the next time. Get ready for it. Prepare. Foundational. It's going to be, and so that we can. Well, you ran when 2016 was it 12 or 16 that you ran? We did the primary for Megatron and Cthulhu.
I think that was 12. 12. 16 we ran a couple also, but the voting machine was 12.
Well, tell people what we did at Pork Fest and how and all the stuff that we did on that.
So we've been doing the Vote for Nobody the Vote for Nobody campaign every cycle since I can remember. Probably since the Great Davis recall of 2004, I've been doing the Vote for Nobody stuff. But one year for Pork Fest, we decided, hey, we can't just run nobody. We got to have a nobody primary, and so we came up with a bunch of nobodies. And we loaded up
and bumper stickers for each one, and people voted by buying stickers or something, Well,
it was a vending machine or a slot machine. You put in your quarter, that was your poll tax. You pulled the lever, and then instead of scrolling through like cherries and jackpots and whatever, it was scrolling through the candidates. So maybe your vote mattered, maybe it didn't. The house always wins. But
I got some CNN attention.
Yeah, that did. That made it on CNN.
Yeah, they go, oh, this is not good. What happened?
But they won.
I know that
the one time the thing pays out, it's when CNN's pointing a camera.
They go, woohoo! It worked. We win.
Democracy works.
Oh, that was funny. So we've done a lot of stuff that's had an impact. And what's the traits? A lot of it's timing. It's just, and that's one thing you could spend enormous amounts of effort and it be the wrong time and it not have the impact. Mm-hmm. But what I learned in marketing, restaurants and all that, that's been my thing, management, restaurants and local LSM, local store marketing. That's my big thing. And all those skills that I learned in the 80s and 90s, it came in, it was very advantageous when you're doing politics. You want to educate people. You want to have a campaign. So I've been through this a lot. And the thing is it's timing. It's being ready for when the time happens.
Yeah.
And we have so many resources and so much stuff. Oh, I'm glad you did that. You want to play? Let's play. Wrote a song about it. Here you go. So we do that. And it's been rewarding for us if you can be patient.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to, let's get the band back together. Woohoo! We'll evolution all go. It's not time.
I guess the other thing that concerns me is that I think we've now demonstrated that there is no segment of this society that can stop this war.
Like, okay, you need congressional approval. Well, apparently you don't need congressional approval anymore, so Congress isn't going to stop the war. You can run a peace candidate, and you can elect a peace candidate, and then they escalate the war, so electing a candidate is not going to be the way to do it. You can have the most, like, massive protests that this country has ever seen, and that doesn't affect whether or not the war presses on. The only thing I suppose left is if you could actually get the Supreme Court to say that it's unconstitutional.
What?
I don't know. I mean, that's what the Supreme Court is for, right?
Say you're not allowed to do that.
Right? You're not allowed to have an unconstitutional war. I can't believe I have to say this, but that's the rules. So, but you know what I mean? Like, there is literally nobody, I think, that can actually stop the war machine.
Yeah. Well, it's what always stops it is people. You know, what stopped the Vietnam War? I mean, we've been 20 years almost in Afghanistan.
What did they do in the Vietnam War that we're not doing now?
Soldiers stopped fighting it.
Okay.
You know, that was, did you ever watch the documentary Sir No Sir?
Yeah, we watched it one of the times I was here.
You know, it's when the soldiers go, nah, and that's why they don't want to do the draft. Because when they drafted people, they didn't want to be there, you know, and you know, stuff happened. And now they have a totally different mindset, you know, because it was do your duty. You know, it's like old, you know, United Kingdom days, the empire of, you know, everybody's, I got to go off and lose an arm or I'm not a man or something, you know. And I don't think that's flushing
I think this
anymore.
This is a different generation of soldiers too. Like, I was talking to someone about, like, what does millennial mean? What does Generation X mean? What does baby boomer mean? And what baby boomer meant was it was the, like, crop of babies that all showed up as soon as people came home from war. There was this big, like, suddenly there was a bubble of babies because so many young men had been away at war that they all kind of had kids in the same little window. Well, what happens when you don't have any, like, waves of men coming home from war? You just have this ongoing cycle of, like, men go away, men come back, men go away, men come back. It's like you have a baby boom every year, right? So, like, it's
birth rate in America is not at sustainable population levels. You know, without immigration, who's going to pay the Social Security?
I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't have invested in a Ponzi scheme. I mean, like, I don't know.
That's one reason why they want immigration. You know, we need somebody paying Social Security and then not getting benefits because they're not.
And then, like Nova was saying, not only are they jobs Americans won't do, but they're jobs Americans can't do because if they're under the table jobs, all the other employees are like, hey man, you got a birth certificate, go get a real job. This is our job. And so you're not even welcome on those jobs.
You know, this is one thing that we get into the campaign. The letter that we did, I showed those on the live stream. You could see it here. There it is. Fourth letter reprisal, scuttlebutt. All right. Now, why did we call it scuttlebutt?
Because that's an old piratey term for gossip.
Now, this is I'm gonna read just the first couple of paragraphs. This is like 955 words, and it's one of the longer ones. Start off at 2,000, and we kind of whittled it down. But yeah, you know, we kind of sort of said that. We spend a lot. Most of our time is cutting.
I'd like to get Derek to go over the technical paragraph before we really finalize it.
All right. Now, well, Donna got an email from Derek. He's on his way home, and he got his big Greyhound bus. He got stuck in the mud for 10 hours. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Yeah.
So we'll give him a break, but we'll get him to do this.
That pooped.
Yeah. You've got 2 hours. You're going to sleep on the plane. All right. This is the scuttlebutt, and you'll see why. I'll just read first couple of paragraphs, and you'll understand where we're going with this. Pirates are confronted with all the same villainy as those on land. Theft and fraud, even murder and sexual assault. Most landlubbers can't fathom how we supposed scoundrels manage to avoid protracted chaos in our floating society. But pirates know that the secret to thriving outside the crown's domain lies in embracing the crown's greatest fear, gossip, which is scuttlebutt. The crown delights in putting down an occasional dawn revolt and then casually executes a dozen political prisoners before breakfast. But gossip, rumor, derision, these are what the crown fears from the black. Even the casual scuttlebutt can induce paranoia when power is tenuous. Gossip has the power to erode legitimacy, which in turn decentralizes influence. Gossip has the power to topple empires. And then we go on detail, the difference between, how we would handle it and so on. But gossip, just gossip. You know what they got to do?
Just talk about it.
They got to deplatform you. That's what they got to do. From the sixth letter of Captain Mark. A pirate's life is characterized by voluntary interactions. Unfortunately, the Crown presses everyone into involuntary servitude. Landlubbers believe slavery was abolished years ago, but the Crown still claims to own us when it crimps us into service against our will. Given sufficient ambition, it would gladly draft thousands of hapless victims to kill or be killed. It's simply slavery by another name. Landlubbers are routinely commanded to serve the so-called justice system in jury duty. But before you swell with civic pride, consider that how you feel is irrelevant to the Crown. You will appear as ordered or face punitive measures. The Crown insists that you participate in your own oppression. A jury summons provides pirates with a unique opportunity to obstruct injustices. A juror can vote not guilty, even if it's proven the law was violated. A juror can acquit for any reason at all, and not even a judge can reverse that verdict. Receiving a jury summons is basically winning the sedition lottery. But if you reveal that you know this during jury selection, you'll probably be dismissed. If the Crown foolishly crimps a pirate into jury duty, it behooves the pirate to conceal their intention to nullify unjust laws. If a master takes 100% of your labor, it's called slavery. But if they only take 50%, they call it taxation. A difference of degree, not of kind. Whether the Crown claims a fortune or a cent is irrelevant. Most of all, a slave owner desires contented slaves, meaning thoughtless ones that accept their bondage. These house slaves see no contradiction in being drafted in a war to end slavery or summoned to a jury to prosecute tax evasion. An ideal slave knows no higher call than the master's will. The Crown's highest ambition is that its slaves revere the authority that subjugates them. But the Crown does not own me. I will not surrender my time and treasure to the Crown's ambitions. Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
To be a part of the show, call 602-264-2800. 602-264-2800. And now, Ernest Hancock.
Stays on. Yeah, show must go on. Well, I tell you what's the show. The really big show is the politics. Yeah. Yeah, Dobby, you might come back in. He's got to get ready to go here in a little while, right after the show, and let me, put the archive up real quick, and then boom, got to go take them to the airport, and then we'll be back, and I'll get everything all finished for all the links Donna's helping me with. Take time to take them to the airport with all the news that needs to go up on Freedom's Phoenix. We do like at least 50 to 70 headline entries a day. This is just, and where a lot of people, they subscribe to the email dispatch, the newsletter you get that makes it, quick and easy. And we got some other things that we're doing, trying to make sure that those go through. I did, there's a censorship of email now. That it's not just, going to the web pages. We're blocking this site, and anything that ever comes from, and you can see it. And what it really started, a long time ago, was certain things like AOL. If you had an AOL address, you didn't get the dispatch. If you had something like Yahoo, they would block it. And then they'd block this and block that, and you got a white list, and no matter how you do it, how many times they opt in, how many times they added to the white list of the they're going after communication amongst us for the 2020 election cycle. So, fortunately, from my perspective, that's how we grew up. We were like, if you weren't able to get some, earned press, if you weren't able to get your government number, that's why we did campaigns or initiatives or recalls or, referendums. It was all for us to be able to, made you look. And, this is how movements start. And you got to have a good foundation with what we're working on. And so the reputation thing, it kind of had all of this in mind. It was, I'm looking at, among pirates, your credibility is everything. Cultivating renown can expand your opportunities, shield you from false claims, and even earn you a ship and a loyal crew. But infamy can get you ostracized, blacklisted, and thrown in the bilge. However, libelous allegations from the crown are practically a resume at sea. So what we're talking about is someone, you're a felon? You can't have a job. You're a felon. What was your felony? I had 3 marijuana cigarettes on me, and I did 8 years. I'm sorry, what?
I ran a really successful medicinal marijuana dispensary.
Right up until I had, like Jacob Lamont, right up until it was legal and I had to get a permit. It was legal. Now I had to get government paperwork. I'm free.
You are free to pay your taxes.
That's one thing that it's when we were younger and good hardcore anarchist, libertarian activist or whatever in the 90s, it was, now you really want to run on guns and weed? Abso-freaking-lutely, because it made the points that we were trying to do. You own yourself, and you can defend yourself, and so these things are very common.
When I first registered to vote, I registered for the Guns and Dope Party.
Where, San Francisco?
Yeah, it was a party in California. They were running a candidate in the Gray Davis recall. They were running a governor. And so I wanted to vote in the Gray Davis recall, or in the following election, the one that elected Schwarzenegger. And so I went and registered Guns and Dope, and I helped them campaign for their candidate.
You registered? You went and got a crown permit?
It was 2004. I didn't know any better.
No, I don't have a problem with doing it. I just, I'd like to be able to just run a campaign, bite me, kind of like the Levolution thing.
Well, I did do that. I ran Ron Paul in 2004 or in 2000. Yeah, 2004. I was running a campaign for Ron Paul. He wasn't running, but I was running him.
See, you're the guy to blame. He got him all attention. That was amazing to me during those years, the spontaneity. The people that just came. I tell you, when we first opened the workshop, the people that were of the most help, they had like 8 guys, and it was a band called Property 6. He was a contractor. He's a young guy. He was the drummer. He had a big spiked purple hair or something when he wasn't, when he was on stage and stuff. And matter of fact, he made it in the Ron Paul video in Las Vegas. He's in one of the big rallies up there. We went up there to teach some of the guys how to put up signs because there's a sickness. It's a psyop. They get you into this fear of of the crown of something, and we made all these signs, and a crew went out, and they came back about a half hour later, and they go, we couldn't find any place to put it up. I'm like, are you kidding me? So we sent one of the band members that had been doing this. Boom, man, we'll find a place. Once they realized that the cops didn't care, they weren't going to shoot them on sight, then they're like, woohoo! So now they have to instill fear, or people will keep doing this kind of stuff. Because the revolution was not violent. It was not property damage. There was no graffiti. There was nothing. You had a sign you didn't like up somewhere. Take it down.
There was some graffiti.
I didn't see it. I mean, it wasn't. Well, of course,
I did.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. But
I'm not saying I did it. I actually went out and I accidentally graffitied this place because I didn't realize the paint was going to bleed through my banner. So I stayed up all night and scrubbed this guy's parking lot. But I definitely did see people who put the Levolution stencil out there as graffiti.
One of the things that I thought was really unique is they had spray chalk. We did the stencils. Well, a lot of these guys, they wanted them. It was a lot of the Texas A&M or something. It was a lot of Texas University or College Station or whatever. They were the ones that started this, and it's spray chalk it's like chalk. You can wash it off, but it comes out of an aerosol can. So they did the stencils just like we did on sidewalks all over campus. They could just wash it off, and they just put it back. And I thought that was awesome. Give them some work too, And then we had creative use of large Post-its. You just slap them up anywhere. Somebody had to take it down.
Large Post-its, like Post-it notes?
Yeah.
How large?
Oh, they were, like twice the size. You can get them all different sizes,
Huh.
But the little ones, regular ones, Morpheus was taken in Shelton 4409. They were putting them on all the video cameras, the highway cameras, because the way the law was is that you couldn't do anything that damaged it, damaged its function. But putting a Post-it note on the front of a lens to block it, that was allowed. It was legal. You weren't down, and they knew it too. They're like, damn it, there's no law against that. There's no charge for, covering it with. And we go, really? We can do that a lot.
It's not obstruction. It seems like it's literally obstruction.
Yeah, there was some provision in whatever. That's what we were claiming, and they didn't, fight it. So I don't think they wanted the attention.
They certainly didn't want to lose and have that get publicized.
Yeah. We'll just let that one go. The other one was the sidewalk chalking and so on. I remember they were doing it downtown in front of the Maricopa County Jail, and it was the tour with Iyer and Adamo. What was that they call it? Liberty.
Liberty on.
Yeah, Liberty on Tour or something like that. Motorhome Diaries.
There you go.
Motorhome Diaries. And then they had different names for it. They came here and did the sidewalk chalking and so on. And Sheriff Arpaio was going, I won't get him and arrest him. And I called him. I said, Joe, you don't want to do this. I'm just doing you a solid. You're walking into a buzzsaw. You sure you want to do this? If you need to arrest somebody, it's if it goes up on a wall. I go, leave the anarchist A to where I can make the triangle for the A at the end. You can arrest me.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive price.
Yeah, what they did is they would chalk and so on. This was a big thing around the country. And they would do activism and take videos and that kind of stuff. So they were like doinking Sheriff Joe, and the police department also. I had a contact there, and I introduced them. They were down at the courthouse. There was some arrest. Somebody was doing something, and they were there covering that, and in the audience and everything. Then their confrontation prevention squad guy came out. I can't remember, Ramirez or something, and I go, look, man, here's the guys. They're cool, this, that, everything. I go, if you start they'll become a thing. I'm doing you a favor. Just let them do their thing. They'll be stupid. And I go, because you know what happens. So they took that seriously. What Sheriff Arpaio did, and when you have a image on the sidewalk was legal. Now imagine you had, this big 10-foot anarchist A or something that they had out there. Well, I go, make it to where the A is not complete, so I have to make the triangle, finish the A vertically on the wall. That was not legal.
Right.
And I said, look, if you need to arrest somebody, I'll go in and I'll go, boom, 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 you got me, okay? I was illegal, all right? Well, if you need that, we'll do that. And they're like, damn it, we don't want Ernie doing anything. So they just let it go. Now, Drew, and I think Shelton, I'm sure it was Drew out there, he waited until they cleaned it up. He was there a couple of hours, and then here come the chain gang. Arpaio had the chain gang out there with pressure washers, and then they washed it all off.
Oh, there you go.
In front of his jail, and then it just went. It was nothing. And I'm just going, God, I mean, I can count on you guys to be. Now, if I want them to be stupid, but I was afraid, they had places to be and they get arrested, and they would let them arrest them. They'd go through all do we have to get arrested? I mean, come on. We know what the law is. You're going to do all goon squad and stompy and be all, up in their face and so on. It's not going to go well for you, FYI. So I kind of half expected them to go, screw you, and they're going to, well, they didn't. They heeded the advice, and they're like, we'll just watch and kind of let it go. So nothing. They probably wanted to make a big deal out of it. They just assumed because they had the badges that it was going to go their way.
Right.
And I'm going, I don't think so. So it's finally when Arpaio, left, we kind of, ended on good terms because he's just a functionary. All these guys are they're just part of the machine. And Arpaio was DEA, retired, moves to Arizona, runs for sheriff, wins, and was there for like a lifetime, like 20 years or something.
Well, he really likes being part of the machine, though.
Yeah.
We can't
Big
exactly
time.
absolve him of responsibility.
No.
He delights in his job.
Oh, yeah. No, he and I, we got all kinds of stuff. But this is a perfect example of, I never go after the person. People go, we need a good guy to have a gun and tell you what to do, and I'm going, it's not him. It's this whole system. So I never go after the individual. I just make fun of the system. And after a while, they start to figure that, and they're going, we need to stop. There's something we can do. Isn't there a law we can pass? Then I go, you can try. Let's see how pirate we go. No. So 2020, I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of opportunities. And fortunately, with the people and the equipment and everything, we're ready. But I tell you what's happening. I can see it. The Liberty community, especially those that were able to make, their bills and pay rent by promoting Liberty and doing it online and having support and, God forbid, YouTube give them a check. They're done, man. There's a problem. All right, here we go.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
There are those that just want to be left alone, and those that just won't leave them alone. Which one are you? The Ernest Hancock Show.
Yeah, one more time. Well, we got two segments. Davi, you gonna make it, man? You got all your stuff ready?
I'm mostly packed. Yeah, there's still some things I can't find.
Well, we got, we'll make sure we get it to you, whatever it is. But we got a bunch of equipment, a bunch of stamps, a bunch of leather stuff, a bunch of, and man, it's just whirling in my head. It's not like I need another project. But this is one of those that, a little extra time here, a little bit there. I got a station over there. I can just play.
I'm excited to play with this idea of using the shiny badges enamel pins as stamps in leather so we can press them right into the leather.
Well, I tried it. It worked. I mean, it made an image.
I'm excited to play with it.
But what happens is the pins, lapel pins that you have, these epoxy kind of pin things, they are filled with this epoxy. But if you get that out, I don't know if you chip it out, burn it out, hammer it out, whatever.
I'm going to find out.
You got the raised image of the skulls and all that kind of stuff. And we took it and I put it was a socket extension over the pin so it would hold it. And I just pounded it with a hammer on wet leather. Boom, the image was there. Now, it would have been sharper had we had the epoxy out and so on. One thing that you found, can you order them without the epoxy? Just say, I just want the thin. All right, we could do that. How big can they go with those? Pretty big?
I don't know how big this factory is willing to go, but I've seen people who made them like 8x8, like big things. There are artists that make gigantic versions of these things.
One thing that you found out, I think we mentioned on the show before, but this is just this is the kind of stuff you want to emphasize in a camp, just to have fun.
Yeah.
Tell the people about, all those lapel pins the Presidente be wearing of his flag on his lapel and so on.
Oh, yeah. So these Hong Kong protests shut down the Shiny Badges factory for a little while because Beijing keeps shutting down the roads. And so I'm like, oh, man, I got clients. They want pins. I got to find an American manufacturer come to find out, there are none. There's not a single American manufacturer of enamel pins because it's illegal, according to EPA regulations, to use some sort of a polish that they use to get these things to be shiny. That particular chemical wash is illegal. But the other thing that I know, having been in this business for 10 years, is that all police badges, all congressional badges, all those little flag pins that every politician wears, every enamel lapel pin you've ever seen on anybody was manufactured this way. And so that means that all of these things that are sort of the mandated uniform of a lot of state agents are legal to manufacture in the United States.
So you got to get your shiny badges literally from communist China.
Right. But, how is that not a security risk? If I wrote to this company and said, hey, just give me a replica of a New York Police Department
They ain't
badge.
no replica. Hell, they just send you the badges that they did.
Yeah, they did. They sent me a complete set of El Paso, Texas Sheriff's Department badges. There were 12 or 22 different badges and keychains and all the lapel pins and everything that El Paso, Texas Sheriff's Department makes with this company. They just sent to me so that I had an idea what they were capable of making.
Thank you.
And it's wow, all right. I guess there's, yeah.
Do me a favor. You see that badge up there by the clock?
Yeah.
Yeah, hand that over here. Yeah, I'll show the people. This was Cop Block, right?
Yep.
Cop Block did this, and they had numbered badges. Well, what happened was you had different badges. Of course, there were popular ones, and I think I got 21. I was going to give it to my granddaughter when she turned 21 because it says, shiny badges don't grant extra rights. And so I go, when you're 21, this is going to go to her and say, just kind of cuz. I mean, whatever, 21. Well, double that number, and it's 42.
42. Yeah, 42 was a popular one.
Well, what happened, James Babb had it.
Oh, yeah?
And some guy went up, he goes, man, I got to get 42. I want 40. Or James Babb wanted it. It's a James Babb thing. Either he sold it to this guy or he got it from the guy.
Okay.
But there was horse trading and negotiation going on for 42.
Yeah.
Which is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The answer to the universe is 42. So it's why? Well, we got to go back into another millennium to just figure out why or something. It was just stupid. So here, which camera? I can do this one.
So yeah, this badge is literally the same mold as the Keene, New Hampshire police badge, which is literally the same mold as dozens of police badges around the country. Because all they do is they change the text and they change the city emblem in the middle, and they use the same mold for everyone's badges. So, except for not having a magic wand waved over it, that is identical to a variety of different counties' police badges.
Yeah, that's not the best camera right there, but you can see it. I mean, it's a badge. It's a weighty badge. This is not.
It's almost like it's a real police badge.
It is a real police badge, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's my point.
Yeah.
Well, it's real in the sense that it's identical,
right,
but it's not real in the sense that nobody waved a magic wand over it and declared it real.
Well, that's another thing we can make out of leather is our shiny badge holder thing.
No, that'd be cool.
And then you get a laminated ID, and you can be all shiny. You're impersonating an officer. Don't laugh, because this is what happened. There was a guy named Jack McLam. He was the original Officer Friendly. He was he wouldn't do unconstitutional stuff, and he's, one of those guys, a patriot, and he's going, nope, I'm not doing it. He did a newsletter. It's called Aid and Abet, Police and Military Against the New World Order. This is like 80s and so on, and they wanted this database. Who are you mailing this out? We got to have the database. And they fired him 5 times and had to rehire him. When he finally retired, he got his retirement badge. Well, he wore it at his booth at a gun show down there, and they arrested him for impersonating an officer. Retired Officer Friendly, wearing his retirement badge, impersonating an officer.
I have never heard one story.
And I know the guy that arrested him, and he went on to be the Fusion Center liaison between the FBI and the Phoenix Police Department.
Well,
he's just about ready to retire.
He must love his job.
He's starting to see that. And as time goes on, his big concern has been the pension thing. Make sure he gets his. And then he's like, yeah, this really sucks that you guys gave me a bunch of money.
Yeah. That's how it works, is everybody is in it until they can't profit from it anymore, and then they hop ship.
Yeah, he was an Iraq veteran. He was, in fact, in the foxhole with Mark Victor. They're really good friends. And so I got I've been out partying with, vacation on cruises and everything with the Fusion guy, from the Phoenix Police Department, and he's head of the the super duper kick your ass SWAT investigation of whatever the hell it is. He does a lot of when they're doing the fusion center with the which they didn't admit even existed until Catherine Bleish and John Bush went around the country visiting these things, and I got him a meeting with one of the lieutenants in charge of the fusion center up here in North Phoenix. They went and actually interviewed him and talked. Yeah, we're here. I don't know what the hell these guys are saying. You're a bunch of conspiracy hat. Hello, we're here. It's amazing how much what lies are told online, and it gets back to our credibility thing.
Yeah.
This is all about. But if you don't have a record of this stuff, then there's no record of them lying. Or telling the truth or what. So that's why a lot of the videos from James Corbett and a lot of the work from Richard Grove and a lot of the work from Larkin, a lot of the work from Adam, a lot of the work from you, a lot of the work, we emphasize and prop up and put because it's necessary. It is extremely necessary to show the history on this stuff, which is exactly what 1984 was about. Okay, this is a good story. 1984. It comes out and it says, it's about Newspeak and Memory Hole, and they're changing and deleting and doing. Then we find out that on Amazon there are edited versions of 1984 being sold as the book that have been edited a bunch of stuff out.
Yeah.
And I go, right. Now,
That's how it goes.
But Amazon puts them up there, and they go, "Hey, man, it's not our job to validate, whatever, So you got to if you get it, you got to get the right one." And now Richard Grove went through this on a bunch of old books that they just took chapters out. The intro's gone. They, burned the plates. They, whatever the heck happened. The real ones don't exist. So he always calls them historical artifacts. So he goes and finds the original book, and then he has, a web camera that goes on. He's like sitting there showing it. Look, man, let me tell you what it says. This kind of research is exactly why they want to do the censorship thing, because history will convict the crown.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market.
Yeah, I'm sick of bad guys being bad. So how much more you got to do?
I got to get some files off to Andreas because his thing needs them for his event. And I got to find... What?
Yeah, we're recording. You got to get on the mic.
Oh, I gotta do some work for Andreas and get him files as soon as possible because he needs them for his event, which is this week. So I gotta do that now. And just finding these little trinkets. I don't know where else they could be.
These are stamp heads that you put impressions in on leather, and we had them here, and Nova's moving stuff around and whatever, and we just got to find them so you can get that. Yeah, we'll take a look. We found mine. Yours got, I don't know.
Yeah, Nova brought these to me yesterday because he thought they were mine, but when I looked at them this morning and I was packing, I was like, none of these are mine, so there must be another stash somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably, it's around somewhere. We'll make the hardcore look here in a little bit. But, it was a productive, Nova being here, it's kind of a, it was a little bit of distraction, but it was a good ad, and he's kept pretty busy off himself.
He contributed a lot more than you might think, because he and I spent a lot of time while you were in here working just talking about reputation, and he's got a lot of insight on that subject, so that was really helpful.
Good. Well, we got, right when he came out, and we told him, like yesterday afternoon, we're going, look, do your work. You more than welcome to come out and hang, whatever, but don't inject. Don't interrupt because it's a flow. It'll take us off into La La Land and everything. And anytime any of the guys come over, and then you came across Time Bandit that we just kind of did as a filler for something, and I go, no, I like that.
Yeah.
Because a time bandit, it's a time suck. A time bandit, they steal your time. They're not helping you.
Yeah.
That's why we did it's the Freedom's Phoenix workshop. It's not honeycomb hideout. It's like if you're not doing something, you're helping somebody do something, or you're in the freaking way and distracting, which a lot of times that's exactly what goes on online. If you can insert into a community some troll that just send you off in law and just wants to argue, well, you got a whole bunch of people just distracted. If I was they, them, those, and I go, here, watch this. Watch me get 7.6% reduction in opposition activism activity against us. I watch it and post, and you go, ha-ha, and let them go at it. You quit that Get off Facebook, man. There's certainly, all this engagement on stupid crap. It's fine. You're doing it for your family and so on, so the CIA knows what your, grandbaby unborn the 3D ultrasound looks like, so they can facial recognition them at birth. I mean, if you want to do that, fine. But don't suck your time out, and then you go, yeah, but I'm saving the world. I'm going, no, you're not. They got you corralled in the echo chamber of whatever. That's a really big echo chamber, yeah. So I'm not a fan of the way social media is done. So what I'm thinking we're going to do is as we go through the next development on Freedom's Phoenix, we're doing a lot of cosmetic stuff behind the scenes. Now we had a lot of the back end 3 years to get this thing all fixed up. And then now we're starting to do the front end. You'll see some changes, like on the site for the show. You go to the top right of Freedom's Phoenix, declare your independence, and you'll see that the structure is different. You'll have, the show's at top. It's always, God, where's that button? I got to, and we kind of did some stuff like that. We've just been busy. It's on our list. So we get that. Now the custom model, we're going to start doing subscribers. And then we're going to start, we're now starting to encourage people to go into the pirate forum that we'll start giving more attention. We just been working on other things. We're going to do a reformatting of different things, make it more navigable, and where the links are and stuff. But we're going to need the pirates to help us with some of the letters that we do in the future. I think we pretty much got everything. Is there anything left?
As far as topics, I mean, there's essentially an infinite number of topics.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
What we're talking about in the break on the live stream is we're looking for topics to be able to add to the book, because the book is, 40, 50 pages or something, and it has a bunch of art, and we filled up, so we could take stuff out and, add more letters, because a lot of that stuff was timely for, like, Kaepernick, just
essentially
do it campaign we were playing with.
There were like 6 pages of Kaepernick memes the last time around, because it was the latest thing. And so those all came out, and these letters fill up that space. So,
which is kind of what we anticipated anyway. Is there another charge? We start adding more pages. You can make it as many pages as we want.
Yeah, you can make it as many pages as you want. The difference is if we add pages, we also have to upload and get approved new cover art, because the spine has to match the number of pages. Which is potentially just another reason for them to object for some reason, because it seems sort of arbitrary when you upload new files. But no, there's no reason not to add pages.
Yeah, we could. I mean, our cost on these are, they're not free. It's not $1 billion, but it's $4 and something a book.
So that's the other thing. If you add pages, they're going to end up higher unit prices. The thing that I think I would like to do is say that, like, this is the letters of marque, and if we end up filling this and we end up writing more, we should start pushing the other letters into another book and have both, like, a letters of marque book and then a letters of reprisal book. And so if this,
I don't want to pay for, but it could have a new cover in the middle or something, or it has like the book. They all be one book, but they
sure, yeah, that's possible too.
Well, a lot of these, there's I don't know. We don't like our brain, we don't bleed from our ears thinking about this, but there's a lot of thought that goes in to which character writes a certain thing, and if we need a new character.
Yeah.
So we have Captain Mark, First Mate Reprisal, Mark and Reprisal. And she's the female. Then we have Dr. Idris Barber, which is a man. I think pretty much man.
Yeah.
And then
pretty much most days.
Well, I don't know. I guess you could read it and you kind of determine he's a man.
Idris is a male name.
Yeah, so I guess it's a guy. And then Captain Kidd. I'm gonna keep that, a mystery. You said you got an email from somebody.
Yeah, we got listeners convinced Captain Kidd is female.
And we're like, well, then you know more than us because we don't know. Yeah. So, and kind of purposely. A child's perspective on it, and, she may age or not, or he does, or I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's, but we just wanted to do it from the perspective of a child with a young female sibling, Prudence.
Right.
So this is the motivation of him going after the crown. It's not even really, and what we did is we didn't want to go negative waves. So what happens is she becomes a pirate apprentice. She said the fire burning me was extinguished at sea. And now instead of revenge against you, I want justice for my sister kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that right there, whoa, they're like, damn.
Yeah, this
we don't
letter-
want justice.
This letter is a lot of like transmutation of negative energy into positive energy. That's kind of the trajectory of the characters. They start out and they're just like as murderous and suicidal as they're you know, they want to burn down the adult world, you know? And so it's about taking all of that resentment and anger and justified anger and turning it into something positive. And I think that the letter does that really well.
I think the whole movement has been doing that.
Yeah.
Anybody that's been, you know, in the liberty movement, it's not like it's popular. It's not like you get invited to the country club. It's not like your mother-in-law is all happy with, you know, your stuff. But if you're principled and consistent and don't get all crazy, you know, and define that, I don't know what the hell that means. But, you know, as time has gone on, it's been, Donna and I have been married 35 years, and her whole family, extended family kind of going, okay, Ernie's not as crazy as we thought. All the stuff he says is going to happen. You know, we probably benefited from a little bit of he's not, you know, too crazy. We'll let people know that we know him, you know. But now they're the concern, especially for my brothers-in-laws. One's retired now, so it doesn't matter. The other one, you know, still at Wall Street, and he's a VP at Moody's. And yeah, they're, you know, they know you're right. There's so much evidence, or certainly understand. See, I don't want them to. I'm not looking for them to agree with me. You know, I just like, look, all I want is make sure that you understand why I'm so convinced. I don't need to convince you. I just want you to understand why I believe this. Well, okay, I can see, okay, you're not crazy. I may disagree with you, but as time goes on, if you're nice at the Thanksgiving table and get invited back to Christmas, you know, and your family, and you're not, you know, ostracized, you know, by being such a butthead, no, you bunch of communists, I can't believe you. Whatever your position is, you just make sure that you're articulate and clear in what you believe, and then they'll go, okay, and then you're done. And then it's the next year or the next holiday, it's Uncle What's-His-Face pulls you off to the side, you know, by the fence or whatever, and say, did you hear about, and then it's like it's their idea. You know, it just happens if you're patient. But testosterone-filled 22-year-olds, man, they went to college or they read a book and they just want to explain it to everybody. It's like they're a born-again Christian or something. And I go, what? Man, just chill out. It'll happen. And people are going to get educated with what's coming. I guarantee, which is why they needed to eliminate Century of Enslavement, the video that James Corbett did on the Federal Reserve and how it works and why. I mean, it's like, I don't know, an hour or something, but it is so, you're not getting this in school. This is the information they do not want you to know because it's private and hell, even they don't know who owns it or in charge of it. It's they, them, those kind of thing. Once you go down that road, you go, okay, a bunch of stuff makes sense. And I remember the documentary, God, what was it? For Liberty, how the Ron Paul revolution watered the withered tree of liberty or something like that. And it was a documentary that, after the 2008 campaign, it just showed the motivation of all these different people. A bunch of us got interviewed for it and everything. But there was one guy in there, he goes, as an IT guy, we kind of understood and been schooled on, the concept of spontaneous order. But I had never seen it, in action. Well, the Levolution was that, because a lot of us made absolutely certain that there was no centralization. The closest to centralization was the campaign itself and Ron, and so much of it was outside of that. And that was what I was fighting. They were trying to bring it in the whole time. Oh, you got to, post all the pictures on this Flickr account that we have and we own and we do and we whatever. And you got to do this and clear that, and it's a Ron Paul meetup thing, and you can't have your owns without it being blah, 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 blah. And I was complaining the whole time. I go, look, man, you guys have no idea what's going on. This has nothing to do with that. It is the principles that are espoused by Ron, and it won't be doing what you want. To the point that in Iowa and a lot of other places, they would excommunicate some of the activists because they weren't good soldiers doing what they want when they're just volunteers. And they go, okay, I'll go over here and do it. A bunch of them went to New Hampshire to help us over there and do it. And then they're calling, hey, we need you to come back. Nobody's doing it. Yeah, bite me. Then he wanted to help he's an excited guy. One of the guys from Iowa, he goes, and very effective. He goes into their phone pool. They had a phone bank there at the headquarters in Manchester, and they were calling about, and they had a script. It was on immigration, and they had a script. He would get up, and he'd go off script. He'd be all excited and getting them all convinced. They'd go, hey, you're doing it wrong. You have to just go, well, shit, get a recording then. You know, why am I doing? And he's like, never mind. The real campaigning, the real effect was totally outside the system. And I'm thinking, now Ron understood this. Now his campaign, a bunch of other people and the money guys and the party and all that kind of stuff, but Ron understood. He's like, yeah, I get it, So he just let it go. When this happens this next time, we're about 07 right now, 07, 08. It was July of 08 that I wrote the article, said, here it comes. Within, 3 months. It was like, October or something? So what is that? April. So yeah, like three months, boom, it hit. I'm getting the same EBGBs. We're not going to make it to the 2020 election cycle before this, whatever happens. And they're going to go negative interest. What was it? I saw Germany on their 30-year bond is negative now.
Okay.
In what world does that work? Here, let me give you my money so you can give me less later. I'm investing.
Yeah, you're donating to the government.
I'm not even sure how that. There's so many manipulations. I don't even keep track anymore. I go because they can. Whatever serves their interest. So you guys go into the pirate forums. Starting in a week or two, we're kind of getting ready to start doing that. Go sign up. I don't is there any sign up? Yeah, you get in the account.
You gotta log in. Yeah.
Yeah, you get in the account.
You gotta totally agree.
Totally agree. I totally agree. So you go there, and what we're going to need, what we're going to start doing, and I'm publisher at freedomsphoenix.com, and it's Davi at bitcoinnotbombs.com. So do Davi at bitcoinnotbombs.com, and send us some topics, ideas for letters. Now, I think
write your own letters.
Right. I think we're going to, from the forum, we're going to start taking ideas and concepts and research and everything, and then people can start writing their own letters on whatever the hell they want, or a critique of ours. And then you could have, it gets to the point, you got a big, giant manifesto of kind of, I think it should be, and you got your own ship. Get your own pirate code, paste, done. Because Pirates Without Borders is pirates with an S.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month